Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Department of Medicine Award Ceremony. Thank you for being here. Last night at approximately 6:55, I stepped onto a bus. It was a shiny red, loud party bus. Barbara Casper was there, so I can't say I was alone. Jen Cook was there, and the senior class of residents of this year in internal medicine. There was a lot of music, a lot of noise, some booze, not in that order, and experiences that I would not, and I would hesitate to describe here today, but I think that pictures will surface on the internet over the next few days. After that, we went to Flanagan's for more of the above. And then I had to leave. I had to leave early. So I wasn't able to speak to everybody, and I wasn't able to stay all the way to the end. But I left with a great sense of satisfaction, a great sense of pride that I wish everybody here would have experienced. Terrific group of people, clearly happy to be with each other and to have finished what I believe is an important accomplishment, and that they are ready for the next stage of their careers. And this family is ready to see what's next for them, and we are extremely satisfied that they have done what they needed to do to become the next generation of healthcare providers, educators, researchers, and so forth. And today we're here to celebrate that group and their accomplishments. We're here to celebrate others who have done great this year in many, many aspects of our missions. And we're here to celebrate the faculty and staff who really make this place what it is today. So without further ado, let me introduce the first award. And that is the Austin Block Award for highest attendance at Grand Rounds. As you know, attendance to Grand Rounds is very, very important. And we're going to give it to two people, one a member of the faculty and one a member of the residency program. Dr. Forrest Arnold, come up here, please. This is the first Grand Rounds that he does not attend to. I can't believe it. Throw that away. Okay? And then, considering last night, maybe the resident won't be here either. AJ Volkel. Congratulations. So one of the things we're going to do this year is that I'm going to be moving in and out. Stay there. Stay there. And you're going to get a certificate and also a picture. But to accelerate the process, because I know everybody's busy and have other things, I'm going to be moving out, and Barbara is going to continue with the process so that we move efficiently. So I leave you with your MC, the Division Director for Internal Medicine and Program Director, Barbara Casper.
So first of all, I would like to thank everybody for attending our annual awards day. This has been a pretty challenging year. We've had new duty hours, which have precipitated a lot of creative scheduling. Proposed merger with Jewish that was a little bit of a distraction, and we tried to continue to teach our residents in the midst of this. I also had a very strange experience last night. Let me just share this with you briefly.
This evidence, this is, well, this may or may not appear on Facebook in about 20 minutes or so.
So I was abducted by aliens in a big red bus. This is in front of my house, and I must say that I'm not sure my neighbors will ever speak to me again. But at any rate, we did have a lot of fun there, and this is some proof of what Dr. Roman was talking about last night. So in spite of our challenges, this has been a very successful year. We recently found out that all of our training programs will be site visited again in 2017. I don't think any of us objected to that extension in our time. Our residents and fellows have been extraordinarily successful in their academic pursuits, and we continue to have the top-rated medical school clerkship on the campus. And I think this is indicative of the dedication of our staff and faculty, as well as the residents who continually work to do their best, sometimes in spite of difficult circumstances. I would like to officially take this moment to thank our staff, Julia Klinkenbeard, Rita Matnich, Kathy Sherlucky, and our newest member, Helene McCormick, without whom this celebration would not be possible. I also want to thank my associate program directors, Jen Cook and Nancy Kubiak, for all of their hard work on helping to train our residents. And I want to thank the faculty who are dedicated to educating our residents and the residents who want to excel. Excuse me for sounding hoarse. I was yelling last night as we were trying to talk over very loud music. It certainly makes my job a lot easier. And lastly, I want to thank Dr. Roman for his continued support of our training program that allows us to continue to improve our residency. So thank you for everybody. We now have a series of awards that recognize our academic performance of our residents as well as their achievements. The first of those is the Exam Performance Award. The In-Training Exam Award was established in 1987 by Dr. Mary Berry, and it was given to the PGY1 resident with the highest score on our in-training exam and the PGY2 and 3 residents who have the most improved scores. We also recognize our PGY2 and 3 residents who have the highest score. So for the highest score on the PGY and the PGY1 on the in-training exam, this year's recipient is Dr. Sam Krishnamurthy. Sam, can you hear me? For our most improved PGY2, this year's recipient is Dr. Dipali Tukai. Dipali, are you here? And for our most improved PGY3, this year's recipient is Dr. Arka Chatterjee. Arka, are you here? And I'll ask you to stay up here for a second. I also want to recognize our resident with the highest PGY2 score, and that's Dr. Tarsheen Sethik. Tarsheen, are you here? And our highest PGY3 score was also the person with the most improved score, and that's Dr. Arka Chatterjee. We really appreciate all the hard work academically, and these folks have certainly excelled in that. So, and for those residents in the audience who want to win an award next year, you can put this as one of your options. So, I also would like to recognize the division whose our residents scored the highest on the in-training exam exam, because I think that also reflects the dedication to teaching in that area. And this year's award goes to the Division of Infectious Disease. So if you'd like to In addition, we'd like to recognize the division where our residents perform the best on the certifying exam for the American Board of Internal Medicine. And this year, the award goes to the Division of Endocrinology. So, our next awards go to those folks who are in the division who are recognized for outstanding teaching. Our Excellence in Teaching Awards are given to the fellow, the division, and the faculty member who are recognized by the residents as being outstanding teachers. The first award that I would like to give is to our fellow. I wanted to read a couple of comments from this year's winner of the Best Teaching Fellow Award. The residents have noted that he is knowledgeable, conscientious, available, compassionate, and hardworking. He truly cares about his patients and is someone that they would like to emulate. He practices evidence-based medicine and teaches on every patient encounter. I'm very happy to give this year's Excellence in Teaching Award for our fellow to Dr. Martin Espinoza. I'm very proud to say that Martin is one of our former residents and won last year's Most Outstanding Resident Award. He's continuing his excellence. This year's recipient of the Outstanding Teaching Award has been here only a short time, but has already made an impact in our department. He has been noted to be an excellent teacher, and the residents love to be on service when he is there. He is compassionate with families and patients and teaches constantly. He's able to challenge the residents without creating a malignant environment. He's always available, coming in at night, even if his patients need help. One resident noted that he is on track to be a master clinician and part of a new generation of leadership for our institution. It is my pleasure to present this year's Outstanding Teaching Faculty Award for the second year in a row to Dr. Rodrigo Cavalazzi. This year, Rodrigo got to be here. Last year, I think he had a baby that complicated things. So. The last award, teaching award, is given to the division whom the residents identify as being consistent in their teaching skills as a whole. And I'm very proud to accept this year's award on behalf of the Division of General Internal Medicine. The residents also select peer awards, and one of those is the Outstanding Teaching Resident Award, which is given to the PGY2 resident that is recognized by the interns as being the best teacher. Obviously, part of our mission is not only our clinical care for patients and research, but teaching the next generation of physicians. This award is given to the second-year resident whom the interns identify as the most outstanding teacher. This year's recipient has been described as the consummate teacher who takes every opportunity to make a teaching point. She is hardworking and able to create a very good learning climate. I'm very pleased to be able to present this year's award to Dr. Dipali Takai. Dipali. We also want to recognize those attributes in a physician that really make our professions special, and that is the professionalism. And so our residents have the opportunity to choose a peer who most represents their professional aspects of care. This year's recipient is someone who I would describe as quietly effective. He was noted to be kind and empathetic while being an effective and patient teacher. In my own interactions with him, I've never seen him become rattled, and always approaches his work and his patients in a very professional manner. One person described him as a pulmonary superstar, and many people mentioned that they are very sorry that he's going to leave our campus. I'm very pleased to present the Most Professional Award to Dr. Vishal Jaban. Michelle, I'm very happy that you made it at 8 o'clock this morning. We were having trouble with the time last night.
Not walking well.
Thank you very much.
One of our most special awards is for our outstanding senior resident. This award is given to the graduating senior who's recognized by his or her peers for their leadership, teaching abilities, and clinical skills. When reviewing this year's recipients' evaluations, superlatives abound. Here are some of the comments. He has a great knowledge base and a gift for teaching, using every patient as an opportunity to educate the team. Along with great clinical intuition and the ability to use the resources in the system, he knows when to ask for help. He is compassionate and has an excellent work ethic combined with strong leadership skills. His patients love him. Although several folks mentioned that they could not identify any areas of improvement, he was also noted to be constantly working on improving his knowledge base and skills. I have come to know him for his absolute commitment to excellence, his creativity, and his humor. And I'm very delighted to present this year's Most Outstanding Resident Award to one of our future chief residents and hopefully faculty member, Dr. Clay Smith. Who else is out there? These are Clay's parents. I will say Clay was responsible for the party bus last night too, so he has a lot of talent. If you would like to come up and have your picture made, that would be great. Is Julian here? I'd like to ask Dr. Ray Knight to come forward to present the best resident performance in a community-based program.
It's often difficult to know who to give this award to. This year, a lot of really good residents, but ultimately it was an easy decision. Great clinician, humble, modest, loved by patients, as good at differentials as I've seen forever, and that's Dr. Mardelli Sarah. I'm coaches on call. There's a cash award that's underwritten by Clark Hospital.
Now we'll take a moment to recognize our graduating residents and where they're going to come. If you guys will come up and just stand up here, we'll get a nice picture. I am so excited about the accomplishments of our graduates and very, very pleased about where they're going, although unfortunately they're scattered all over the place. I was telling somebody that I'm going to miss them a lot, but this class has been very close and I think they're going to miss each other more. So hopefully this will be a home base. Dr. Aditya Bhartia will luckily be here as a nephrology fellow. Laura Buchanan will be an academic hospitalist at the University of Kentucky. Arka Chatterjee will begin a cardiology fellowship at UAB. Neil Crittenden will be an academic hospitalist in our department. Sean Gow will be a hospitalist in St. Louis, Missouri. Malik Islam will be a cardiology fellow at St. Louis University. Vishal Javan will be a cardiology fellow at the University of Cincinnati. Pulmonary, sorry. Ross Jones will be a gastroenterology fellow at Carolinas Medical Center. Ali Kazemi will be a gastroenterology fellow at the Allegheny Medical Center. Matt Keith will be a cardiology fellow at University of Louisville. Alan Lamb will be a gastroenterology fellow here at University of Louisville. Sarah Landis, luckily, will be one of our chief residents. Monica Mondati will be a hematology oncology fellow here at U of L. Sherry Montandon will be an academic hospitalist at the University of Pittsburgh. Tame Pachabai will be a pulmonary critical care fellow at the Cleveland Clinic. Justin Provost will be a gastroenterology fellow at Norwalk Hospital Yale University program. Clay Smith will be one of our chief residents. Patton Thompson will be a pulmonary critical care fellow at the University of Louisville. And AJ Vogel will be one of our chief residents. And this is an outstanding group. I must say, this is the first year they all came, I think, because I told them explicitly they need to be here last night. But let's give them a round of applause. 'Cause, 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 'cause,
I've had too many pictures with these guys in the last couple of days. See me? I'd also like to recognize our preliminary interns who spent a year with us prior to pursuing their long-term career goals. And these folks are very active participants in our residency training program, and we value them and hope that they will remain a part of our program even after they leave. Let me introduce them and tell you where they're going if they'll come up here. Sabra Abner is going to be a dermatology resident here at U of L. Parul Berry will be a radiation oncology resident here. Ben Brown will be a radiology resident here. Bria Casperson will do radiology at the University of South Alabama. Sveta Gold will be a neurology resident at University of Texas, Houston. Come on up, guys. Ty Haverly will be a dermatology resident here at U of L. Josh Holmes will be a radiology resident at U of L. Nathan Perot will be an ophthalmology resident here. Mark Sherman will be an ophthalmology resident. And Eric Van Bogart will be a radiology resident. So please thank these folks for their help with us, with the work for the last year. And we hope that they've received good training to pursue their future careers. And we look forward to working with them, many of them on our campus. So thank you. I'd now like to ask Dr. Amy Holthauser to come up and present the MedPeace residents.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see everyone here. It's a great turnout. I have a husband who did the Ironman. And I think that the reaction that I see from people when they find out that he did an Ironman is pretty similar to the reaction that a lot of MedPeace residents get in terms of, why would you do both? I think that it's an incredible achievement for our MedPeace residents to be able to have two homes, to be able to fully achieve and deliver care that is commensurate with their extremely excellent categorical colleagues, and to work every day on bringing something extra to the table, which is, I think, something we pride ourselves on, and one of the things we look forward to having from that achievement. Every one of these 5 graduating physicians has achieved that. I'm also very proud that every one of these 5 graduating physicians is going into primary care, because I think what we're seeing more and more at this point in time in America is a need for the complex, ill, fragile child who's growing into adulthood to have a medical home that's very familiar with where they came from. I know a lot of us on the adult side feel very challenged when we encounter those patients who didn't used to survive, and I think that these people are going to be an important bridge in the future to giving good care to those patients. So I'm very proud of them. I'd like to first welcome Dr. Crystal Johnson. Is she here today? Yeah. Crystal is called to serve all underserved patients, and so she's going to start with folks who are underserved here in our own community, in the Park Duval Community Medical Centers. I know they're going to be thrilled to have her. And then she's going to just throw the doors wide open and serve the whole world when she's got a message that enables her to do it. So thank you, Crystal. Next, I'd like to welcome Christopher Sepich. Chris is going to be joining a very traditional MedPedes practice in Wilmington, North Carolina, where he's going to be a true MedPedian, do a combination of inpatient and outpatient, both internal medicine and pediatrics. So he's going to be the primary care superstar. And everybody knows and knows he has enough energy to do it. Maybe not this morning, though, from what I hear. John Smith is going back to not his home parish in Louisiana, but the one that's next door to it, so it's only 5 miles away, so it's close enough. And he's also going to have a traditional med peds practice where he sees inpatients and outpatients of both the pediatric and internal medicine type. He can't join us here today. I did note that he was on the bus last night. Nathan Whitmore is going to be joining a traditional med peds practice very close to our home in Mount Washington, Kentucky, with Lori Schmidt-Scales, for anyone who remembers when she graduated from med peds residency about 7 years ago. Maybe. Laura Chady Workman is going to be our academic med pedian and joining us here as associate program director for the program. I know that we're going to be very happy to have her, particularly Chris Sweeney. And I'm very proud of Laura, not only for what she's achieved in residency, but that she's managed to have her family also while she's done it. So I know how hard that is. Thanks, you guys.
There are some people that we could not have a residency training program without, and that includes everybody in this room, but there are 3 people who are particularly important to what we do, and these are our chief residents. This year's chiefs have been outstanding. They have assumed an incredible amount of clinical work while maintaining their administrative work. So I'd like to introduce our 3 chief residents and ask them to come forward, and we'll talk a little bit more extensively about them tomorrow night. But I'm very grateful for the time and the effort and the work they put into doing an incredible job and helping us through what really was a very difficult year with all the duty hour changes. The first is Dr. Rob Sawyer. Rob, are you here? May not be here. Rob is going to be joining our cardiology fellowship here at U of L, so luckily he'll still be around. We'll get to see him. The other is Dr. David Smotherman. David, come up. Rob had the onerous task of being the scheduling chief, which is usually not a very popular position around here. David has been our safety chief, and he has really moved forward with our quality assurance programs here at, in our training program. Has really left a mark on that. And then our last chief resident this year has been Dr. Kristen Milam. Kristen has been our education chief, has been responsible for all of our wonderful programs. And she did that while having a baby and came back from maternity leave, just kind of went. So she's done an outstanding job. So anyway, thank you. So thanks so much for our chief residents who are absolutely instrumental to helping us to keep moving forward as a program. David will be joining Norton's Community Health as an inpatient hospitalist, and we're very fortunate that Kristen will be staying on our faculty and will be actually the clerkship director for our internal medicine clerkship for the students. So. And then Tricia Lee, is she here? Tricia, are you here? She was going to give the MedPeds Faculty Award. Okay, she's not here, do you know? Okay.
So in Tricia's stead, she must have gotten hung up somewhere. I wanted to present the MedPeds Faculty Award. I'm proud to present it to a faculty member who was back in the day. One of the main reasons that I chose to do MedPeds residency here, she's really an inspiration. She is sharp as a tack and keeps us all at the top of our game, but has one of the biggest and warmest hearts she'll also encounter with her patients. So Charlene Mitchell, can you please come up?
Two more awards before we turn it over to our fellowship training program. The first is the Division of General Internal Medicine Teaching Awards, and we have an Excellence in Teaching Award in the ambulatory setting, which is given to a faculty member chosen by the residents for their skills in precepting in the ambulatory clinic. Our AIM clinic can sometimes be challenging, and to be an effective faculty member there requires an outstanding knowledge of ambulatory medicine combined with the ability to teach in an effective and efficient manner. I think this year's recipient certainly reflects those qualities. Some of the comments regarding this faculty member include that she is an excellent teacher who combines good patient care with appropriate resident autonomy, allows the individual to think. She's an excellent mentor who knows ambulatory medicine and is always willing to help the resident. One person said that she is one of his or her personal heroes. The only criticism I noted was that one person thought her picture on the New Innovations website looked too professional. And the funny thing about that is I actually took it. So thank you. This year's recipient for the Excellence in Ambulatory Teaching Award goes to Dr. Jen Cook. We also want to recognize excellence in teaching in the hospital setting. This award is given to a faculty member who is recognized for his or her skills there. This year's recipient is an experienced clinician and teacher. He was noted by the residents to have a broad knowledge base combined with extensive experience. He was always reading, which encouraged the residents to read on a daily basis. He's a great role model, not only in his interactions with patients, but with his desire to continually learn. He challenged the residents in appropriate ways and was able to balance good patient care and availability with appropriate autonomy. He looked for teachable moments and gave effective feedback to the residents to allow them to improve their performance. One resident noted that he is the physician that he or she desires to become. He is a good human being and an excellent instructor and mentor. It is my great pleasure to present this year's Excellence in Teaching of Hospital Medicine Award to Dr. Hugh Peterson.
Thank you.
Okay, I would now like to introduce Dr. Lori Earnshaw, who's going to present the Palliative Medicine Fellow.
Hi, everyone. I think most of us actually know our graduating fellow because he's been here since he's been a medical student, and he's left his legacy here at Louisville, in Louisville, the broader community and the state throughout his career. And I just want to comment a little bit on his accomplishments because I'm very proud of him. Clint Moorhead started the Kentucky Books for Patients project even as a medical student because he had an interest in oncology, and he used the talents of our Kentucky authors here to provide books for patients about Kentucky and by Kentucky authors, patients who are undergoing chemo and outpatient chemotherapy units throughout the state. And this was very successful and provides some of the first clips that I cut out of Clint in the Courier Journal. Then he published The Cleverest Doctor and a Norton anthology on becoming a doctor, where his work abutted the works of some of my favorite authors like Perry Class, which is very impressive. And that was during his medicine residency here. And then during his year in palliative medicine fellowship, which we were just thrilled to have him stay here. He was one of 13 fellows who was accepted to present at our national meeting, and he presented on challenges and disparities facing seriously ill children. So lastly, he was published in the Journal of Palliative Medicine for his interest in reflective writing and writing in general. So we will miss him a great deal. Sorry. And I'm just very proud that I'll be going to be a graduate faculty with the University of California, San Diego, and be joining the San Diego Hospice and Institute for palliative medicine in San Diego, California. So thank you, Clint. It's been a great year.
I'd now like to invite Dr. Roberto Boli to come up to present the cardiology award.
Thank you, Barbara. So we have a number of awards to bestow this morning. First, we start with the Research Fellow of the Year. Research is one of our key missions. I'm very pleased that every year we have a fierce competition among cardiology fellows to be able to enter the 4-year track that we offer to only 2 fellows at any given time, 2 years of research and 2 years of clinical service. And we want to recognize our effort. And this year, I would like to present the award for the Research Fellow of the Year to Dr. John Logra. Is John here? So John has chosen the 4-year track. He's completing 2 years of research. He's going to do 2 years of clinical training, and he has promised to me solemnly that he will not go into private practice. So we look forward to having him in the faculty later on. He has been absolutely outstanding. He has worked diligently, very hard. He is the reason why we were able to complete the Scipio trial, the first study of cardiac stem cells in the world, and to submit it to Lancet last August, working until late hours in the morning and receiving your emails at 5 in the morning with the latest revision of the paper. John has been totally committed to research, and I'm sure he will have a very brilliant career.
Go ahead.
So next we have an award for the Faculty of the Year. Now this year was very difficult because we have so many good faculty, I guess. The fellows, this by the way is an award that the fellows give to our faculty. So it's a very simple method. The fellows vote for their best favorite faculty, and we compile the votes and we select the winner. So we had 3 runner-ups that were very, very close. The first runner-up was Dr. Ikram, who is in the audience, and I would like to recognize for his contribution. The second is Dr. Kelly McCann. I don't know if Kelly is here, but he was the second runner-up, and the winner is Dr. Marcus Stoddard.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You guys do this, we just do it right here. Thank you, Marcus.
So Marcus has won this award before. He has been really an exemplary teacher for the fellows. Every fellow really yearns to do his echo rotation or her echo rotation with Marcus. He is totally dedicated to clinical service and research, and works 80 hours a week plus hours a week. Is really one of our strongest and most exemplary faculty members. We are very proud to have him in our faculty. Next, I would like to recognize Dr. Wagner. Yes, okay. So, this year, unfortunately, Dr. Steve Wagner will step down as director of our fellowship program after 21 years. So Steve is one of the 2 faculty who was here before I came. He has been here, he tells me, forever. But seriously, he arrived in 1990 from the University of California in San Francisco. And in 1991, he took on the role of director of the fellowship program. And he has done that job really with exemplary dedication, fairness, equanimity, and patience, despite many, many changes over the years in rules and regulations about fellows' times and rotations. So the job of a fellowship director is one of the most thankless jobs. almost as thankless as being editor of Circulation Research. And he has done it with great commitment. He is one of the few people who never complains and has worked behind the scenes without being in the limelight, without being very visible, but he has worked hard for many, many years in many roles. Besides being director of the fellowship program, he is still chief. He's still chief of cardiology at the VA. He's director of nuclear cardiology, director of the HAM program. So he has accomplished many, many things at the same time, and we are very, very grateful for all of your work and your dedication and your loyalty over 21 years. Thank you very much, Stephen.
We can now let Dr. Wagner say a few words.
Okay, these are yours.
Many thanks to Dr. Bowley for those kind words and for all his support for the fellows over the years. My first award goes to our Fellow of the Year. In the spirit of full disclosure, we already presented this award at our banquet, which was last week. This is one of our current chief fellows, Hari Mangaru. Is he here? For those that know or work with him, he's been an outstanding resident, and I'll be talking about all of our graduating fellows, so I'll go on and talk about him. He's had an interest in heart failure and is going to be pursuing a fellowship in heart failure and transplantation at Stanford next year. And hopefully he'll come back and join us at some point in his career. We had 8 graduating fellows, so I'm going to make sure that I remember everybody. And I think I'll go alphabetically. Shoaib Akbar, I don't know who's here or not, but he came to us from the University of Minnesota. He's, for our good fortune, going to stay on and be an interventional fellow here. Well, in his absence, I can Rashmi Hodigudar had a strong interest in electrophysiology and was able to focus her 3rd year fellowship in EP, and to our fortune, she's going to be staying on as a 4th year electrophysiology. Darren Lewis, one of our residents here, is interested in pursuing a career in interventional cardiology. Saraswati Monica Vazagan, there she is. Came to us from University of Texas Galveston, and she is also going to stay on as an electrophysiology fellow. One of our second chief fellows, Lakshmana Pendiala, who, in talking with him recently, he's had a connection here for 12 years. He was a internal medicine resident, for those that remember him, and then he went on to get his J1 waiver in Atlanta, came back to join us as a fellow, has been won Outstanding Fellow of the Year award, teaching awards, and has been one of our 2 outstanding chief fellows. He's going to be doing a 2-year interventional fellowship at very prestigious Washington Hospital Center. Ali Usmani did his internal medicine in Cleveland Clinic, and he is going to be joining our 4th-year fellowship in interventional cardiology. And Umesh Sharma, here he comes. Has had a interest in non-invasive cardiology and is going to be doing a 2-year fellowship in advanced cardiac imaging at Massachusetts General Hospital. And that's it for them. I'd like to introduce our 2 chief fellows for next year. One you already met, Martin Espinoza, and the other is Amer Rehman. Amer, you just stand up.
I'd like to invite Dr. Sahel Ikram to come forward and present the Interventional Cardiology Fellowship.
Thanks, Barbara. Good morning. And this year we only had 1 fellow. And I also keep a track of the attendances of the fellow. So if he's absent, he'll be marked 100% absent. Felix Lugo Adams, please come. Felix here. So he was our only fellow this year for interventional cardiology. And it's, I think fellows like it when they're the only ones because they get to do all the procedures. Of course, he took all the calls and has been a wonderful fellow. Excellent feedback I get from students, residents, as well as staff. He did more than 400 procedures, including coronary interventions, peripheral vascular interventions, and now structural heart disease that we have incorporated. This year, in our banquets, many of our fellows are not here because we already had this event before. And I wanted to say a little bit about their personal interests and know the fellow on a personal level because we work in a machine-like fashion every day. So I asked Felix a few questions. He was born in Ponce, Puerto Rico, and his hometown is known for what they call Pearl of the South, the Ponce Lions. His father inspired him to be a doctor, and his family influenced his life the most. And he said, I asked him, if you were not a cardiologist, what would you be? And he loves cardiology so much, he said, I'll be unemployed. Jokingly. Happiest moment of his life is the birth of his children, as most of us will obviously say that. And most significant achievement in a career, he said he was here as our EP fellow first, went in private practice, saw the light and came back and did the interventional fellowship and still liked it after 5 years. And he worked like a fellow, not as someone who has been practiced and making a lot of money. So where do you see personally and professionally 10 years from now? He said he sees himself giving counsels to his daughters and influencing others to be better at what they do. And then any message I asked him, he said he wants to thank everyone. And everyone is welcome to visit in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and that's seriously. So Felix, thank you very much for a wonderful year. And I think I'll just say, Yuna Suwirte, good luck. Thank you.
I'd now like to invite Dr. Satya Krishnasamy to come forward to present the endocrine fellow.
Good morning, everybody. It's a daunting task to follow cardiology, but Dr. Casper promised at least I can take half the time. But in the interest of my ACB clinic that follows Thursday morning, we have about 30 patients waiting, so I'm going to hurry up. So we have Jyoti Gogideni as our graduating fellow. It's really a Jyoti came to us from New York Methodist Hospital, and she has done extremely well because, as everybody here knows, our consult service, both inpatient and outpatient, grew dramatically over the past few years, and she rose to the challenge and has done really well. And she also is going to be presenting a Presidential Poster Award nomination research at the Endocrine Society, which is the international meeting for the endocrinology. There's about 20,000 people there usually, and it was her research was nominated for a Presidential Poster Award, and it is with Dr. Winters as the mentor, and it's on impact of aging and obesity on hepatic SHBG gene expression in women and men. So, Jyoti, thank you very much and best of luck. And I wanted to mention that we talked about the big red bus and booze, but Jyoti, always after the long clinics that we have Thursday, she makes very good chai for the attending who's exhausted. And we don't have Starbucks. I wanted to make a note of that. So the chai is very helpful. So thank you.
I'd like to invite Dr. Christy Kruger to come forward and present the GI Fellows.
So we're happy with our diversity, and also the fact that we have gastroenterologists that come to us from all over the country. Sometimes then they want to go back home, so please come on up when we call your name. Stephen Frockman, William Ogg, Shilpa Reddy, and Andrew Tabor. I saw Andrew. Dr. Frockman is going back to Texas in practice, in Houston. Dr. Ogg is going to Tupelo, even though it's really hot in Tupelo, Mississippi. I was just there. Shilpa Reddy is going back home to join with her father in his practice in Panama City. And Andrew Tabor is going to South Carolina, to Spartanburg. And I can't say enough about the achievements. I know we're late in time here, but these folks teach you all and have learned a lot, and we are so very, very proud of them. We wish them extreme success in their practices. I want to mention that Stephen and Garrett were our chief fellows, and we have about 12 fellows, and they did an excellent job. We have an awards banquet as well, and I will tell you that there are 2 awards given, one for academic excellence, which went to Garrett Ogg. Raise your hand. And one for citizenship and professionalism, which goes to Stephen Frockman. The only other award that we give is a teaching award. We have about 10 clinical faculty that spend a lot of time teaching, and we have about 5 PhDs and a lot of research as well. And although we'll have an official awards banquet, we'd like to everybody say thank you to Louis Marsano for your continued support.
I'd like to invite Dr. Forrest Arnold to come forward to present the infectious disease fellow.
This year we have just one fellow graduating in our program. We get different numbers in different years. This is Raul Vasquez. See here. I'd like him to come up and congratulate him. He's going to go on to practice in Eastern Kentucky, a place that's very challenging, and we look forward to communicating with him after he graduates.
Dr. Doug Clucker to come forward to present the Hem-Onc Fellows.
Nisar and again, you want to come up here? We have 3 graduating fellows. One, Dr. Story, is busy working on his private practice in Vero Beach to get the credentialing ready, so he couldn't come. Dr. Story presented the World Lung Cancer Conference last year on the viral etiology of some lung cancers. We're very proud of him. And we're also proud of Dr. Nadaraj and Dr. Rodriguez. Dr. Rodriguez will join us here at the university as an instructor. He will join the bone marrow transplant division. He got special training in Seattle at the Fred Hutchinson and the Memorial Sloan Kettering bone marrow program. So we're happy to have him. And Dr. Nadaraj was our chief fellow and was also voted the best clinical fellow and teaching fellow this year. He will go into private practice in Kansas City. There's some big cancer institute. I'm very happy that he will still remain in the academic setting associated with the Kansas City University. He's an excellent teacher, an excellent administrator. I wish we could have kept him here.
Dr. Eleanor Lederer will present the nephrology fellow.
We had 4 absolutely stellar fellows this year, and I'd like to present each one of them. Don Castor, David Finley, and Amna Shanab. So Don Castor, who came from the University of Louisville residency program, was the chief medical resident. I'm happy to say is going to be remaining here as a 3rd-year fellow in studying basic mechanisms in lupus nephritis in the laboratories of Dr. McLeish and Dr. Powell. David Finley is joining a private practice here in Louisville, Kentucky, with a group that is composed almost exclusively of our prior graduates. Mike Schisler is joining private practice here, which is also about 50% of our prior graduates. And Dr. Shana will be joining the faculty at the University of Cincinnati in a combined critical care nephrology position. I'm very proud of all of them and wish them all the luck.
Dr. Mohammed Saad will now present the pulmonary critical care fellows.
We have 3 graduating fellows from pulmonary critical care this year. I'll call the names. You can come up here. First one is Dr. Bashar Hariri. The second is Dr. Moaz Labhan and Dr. Scott Kelly. So Bashar came to us from University of Illinois in Chicago. He did his medical school in Syria, and he's going to stay in to his private practice in the Louisville area. Motaz came from the State University of New York, and he also completed his medical school in University of Aleppo in Syria. He's also going to stay in town for his private practice. And finally, Dr. Scott Kelly, who was our chief fellow this year. He actually did his residency here, and he's going to stay to do his private practice. So all of them staying in town, so we're fortunate to have them here, even though they're going to compete with us, but we're going to have them here. I have 3 awards I want to present. Outstanding Clinical Fellow of the Year. This award is voted by faculty member. So our outstanding clinical fellow is Dr. Sajjad Jamil. And our outstanding teaching fellow is Dr. Scott Kelly. And finally, I want to present our outstanding faculty teaching award. This award is voted by the fellows, and I'm just going to say some comments from the fellows. This particular faculty takes special interest in teaching, makes the lecture engaging, always smiling, friendly, most importantly, using every opportunity to teach. Has a really taken initiative to make sure all fellows get the most of our training, from teaching rounds to setting up educational musical conferences. So our outstanding faculty teaching award is Dr. Ralph Perez.
As soon as Dr. Roman finishes, we have one recognition that I think is very appropriate to recognize one of our faculty members who will be leaving us shortly, who has made significant contributions to teaching our residents.
Oh, we have to present the sleep.
Ah, then go ahead. I'm sorry, Dr. Risa is going to present our graduating sleep fellow. Sorry.
Sorry, we have a massive graduating class in sleep medicine. Dr. Leon Bass is our graduate this year. He came to us from Georgia Health Sciences University, where he did his pulmonary critical care and internal medicine residency after graduating from Ross University. He was our chief fellow and won all of our awards, and we're very
I am extremely pleased to present a recognition, and a special recognition, to a person who's been here for about 18 years. Dr. Michael Edwards joined as a fellow, actually, back in 1994, and became a member of the faculty in 1996, and became chief of the division since 2000. I want you all to recognize that everything you and your colleagues know about rheumatology for over a decade now has been mainly due to a single man, Michael Edwards, who's considered an outstanding teacher and administrator, and who has taught generations of people with rheumatology. And it will be only my hope that we can get another Mike Edwards to continue what he has accomplished. Mike.
Very much. I really appreciate it. And it really is sad to leave, but I'd be remiss in not thanking all of you and your predecessors for inspiring me over the years. You've just been great. And it's really your enthusiasm and zest for learning that's kept me going. So thank you very much again. I'll really miss you all, and all the very best of luck to all of you in the future too. Thanks.
A couple of things before you all go. One is I want to thank Barb and her gang for putting this together. Number two is I want you to recognize the reason why we have Awards Day. Awards Day is not only to recognize the people who have done great, but it's also for the rest of us to recognize where the excellence sits in this auditorium. Take advantage of the people who have won awards today. There's some of them who won it more than once, a couple of years in a row or more over the decades. These are people that have something special, either in the clinical arena, teaching arena, or research. There is a reason why we give awards. It's to congratulate them and for you to take advantage of them to learn what they have that is very special, so that we all are winners at one point or another. The final point I'm going to make is a little bit of history. I can't let you go and run around and say, well, a little bit of history. Back in 1847,
there was a meeting, convention held in Philadelphia that established the American Medical Association on this day, back in 1847. The reason they were able to do this was because 2 years before, on 1845, Nathan Davis did a resolution in front of the New York Medical Association that actually set the stage for them to 2 years later develop this convention. Davis was 30 years old when that happened. Okay? I can only imagine what the young people sitting around this room will accomplish over the next few decades. Whatever it is that you do, we'll be proud. Let us know. Send us a message. Come visit. Family is waiting. Have a good day.
This is actually